There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. Has been getting phone calls. People have called my church and cussed me out. My staff are afraid because I've received death threats over $20 and shut the door.
This is why 80% of the church is filled up with fucking women. Welcome back to another incredible episode of BMSL. I am your host, Ghost, and today we got to talk about the pulpit pimp himself, Marvin Sapp. Now, to tell you the truth, I didn't even know he was a pastor, but when this video came across my feed, I said, no way. It's like they're upping the difficulty levels, they're upping the manipulation tactics, they're upping everything that they want to do right in front of our faces and expect us not to say anything or do anything about it. Now, if you guys have seen that video, shout out to you. Now, he's recently went on to another podcast and tried to explain his position away so that this stuff makes sense. Call me crazy, call me a lunatic, call me old school, but pastors are not supposed to be asking to raise $40,000 in a regular church service. Now, of course, there are circumstances and there are things that I don't know about. Maybe he could be telling the truth about them, maybe not. But as someone who grew up in the faith, but has since been independent, I can see from a bird's eye view, a bird's eye advantage, what exactly he's talking about. And this is the reason why most men are moving away from the church. This is the reason why most people are moving away from the church as well. Hell, even my brother took his family out of the church altogether. They don't even go to church anymore. And there were some hard believers. Brothers, cousins, uncles don't even go to church anymore because of this behavior. But whatever my thoughts are has no bearing on what you guys think. We're going to bring you the video. But before we do that, little pieces of housekeeping. If you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We've been growing at an incredible rate. Shout out to you guys for enjoying the content. And also the other piece of housekeeping is this. I've seen throughout this huge growth bubble that we're in, I've seen the video that has been popping off the most is videos about class. I've single-handedly gotten 30 plus subscribers just off that video in the last 28 days. And in the last month or 2 months or 3 months, even more subscribers. So you guys are telling me exactly what you want to see. And in response to that, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be changing the business model a little bit. So no longer are we going to be known as BMSL. We're going to be known as the Social Grace School, but this will not take effect until July. So just be prepared. If you see an icon change, if you see the business pivot just a little bit, the reason why is because you guys are telling me exactly what you want to see. But we're still going to be continuing to drop videos and do reviews just like we are right here. But this next content is going to be a lot more focused and a lot more building and a lot more energy being put out to give you guys great information and provide you guys even more value. Now, enough of my rambling and enough of my talking. Let's get into the video.
There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. We all gonna leave together. Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. I'm challenging each of you all down here to give a $20 seed. I actually think $20 is a lot of money. $20, believe it or not, when my late wife Melinda P. Sapp was alive, was a good date. I could take her to the movies, buy a box of popcorn, get 1 soda, 2 straws. I wasn't cheap, that's swag. I was looking in her eyes, she's looking in mine. Can't do that no more.
Okay, this is where I gotta stop it. What does this have to do with what's going on? Like, what does this have to do with anything? Like, this is the issue that I have with black people and the black church in general. Why are you equating cheap $20 to a good time in church? Now, if you guys want to try to do things for free and for less than the cost, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But why integrate your church into that and use that as an example? It just doesn't make any sense to me. It baffles me. Okay, let's continue.
Now, everyone up here, we've all sowed and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. I got you. Let's see. So put your 20 away, preachers. That 20 wasn't for you. And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically, or even if you're giving tangibly, I'm gonna have y'all come to the altar and give it, because I need to see 1,000 people moving. Bring them baskets. I want the baskets up here. I want to see the folk. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. Even if you're giving tangibly, just put your hand on take your phone and stick it on the bucket. Shh. Giving is worship. Giving is worship. Giving is worship. Giving is worship. This ain't the time to talk. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people online need to give $20. This is easy, saints. This is an easy miracle. We should be able to raise $40,000 tonight just from y'all giving.
Now that is the video of Marvin Sapp asking for $40,000 and demanding the church doors be closed. I don't know about you, but this got under my skin a little bit, because there are some people in there who come to church to just worship the Lord and can only give about $20, maybe $100 a month. And what if the next day that person had to pay rent? What if you are not letting people out and you're demanding them to pay an extra $20? What if that was their gas money for the week or their lunch money for the week? You see where we can start to enter the slippery slope? Because he's a pastor or a proclaimed pastor, he can get away with this because he has a name big enough to quiet all the noise. But lo and behold, that's stuff like that is the reason why people are turning away from the church. Stuff like that is the reason why people have a huge problem, in particular with the black church, because they have no shame about themselves. Now, let's listen to him try to explain himself away on the podcast. And I got this clip from IG, so fair use. Fair use to everybody's clips that I'm using. Shout out to you guys.
People took issue with me saying shut the doors. Understand, I never said lock the doors. Yeah. I said shut the doors. Shutting doors mean that people still have the ability to go in and out. They've taken issue with my tone. And I can honestly say, looking at the video, maybe I was a little more assertive than I should have been. And I can apologize for that. I can apologize for that. But three things I need to make sure people understand. One, the $40,000, if it was $40,000 that was raised, was never given to me. That money was raised for the purpose of taking care of the budget for their conference, not Marvin Sapp. Number two, it didn't happen at my church. It happened in Baltimore. Number three, people take issue with me being firm with the ushers. Anybody that goes to church, ushers one-on-one, that's the first thing they teach you as being an usher, is that there are 3 times you don't walk.
What does this have to do with what you did? Now, I understand the rules of the game and the rules of engagement when it comes to being in the church. I'm asking you to expound on your reasons for holding people hostage. Of course, the doors weren't locked. That would be illegal. And that will be kidnapping. You would be having to face an answer to the FBI. We know that. But what does the ushers have to do with you demanding $40,000 for the church? Let's continue. Let's keep listening, because maybe I might be jumping the gun a little bit. And I can understand that. Let's continue and listen.
Walk during the altar call. You don't walk during prayer. You don't walk during the offering. One of the reasons being is because of the sacredness of the moment.
We know.
You want the doors closed. You don't want the doors locked. I couldn't get them locked anyway. It's a convention center. But the doors needed to be closed, and there was a lot of pandemonium and stuff that was going on out there. But I wanted to share that first. But that ain't even the reason why I'm here. Here's the reason why I'm here.
Okay, there we go.
The reason why I'm here is because what has happened is people have taken clickbait and made something out of it that it isn't. And because of that, my church.
So okay. Let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. So you're telling me that this is clickbait. You're telling me that people have made clickbait that directly goes against what you're teaching? And that's the reason why you're here in the position on Ricky Smiley's show, trying to explain yourself away for demanding $40,000 for the church in a recording that was buried? I don't even know who found this. Shout out to the Shade Room. Come on, big dog. Come on, big dog. Come on, bruh. You're here because they're making memes about you. Let's continue.
Has been getting phone calls. People have called my church and cussed me out. My staff are afraid because I've received death threats over $20 and shut the door. People have come to our campus. They have come to my church to try to cause problems, issues, challenges. And again, my children, I don't look at comments. We was talking about this, read comments. When you got millions of followers, you ain't got time to be reading all the comments. You just don't have it.
Right.
My children do. And they are afraid. And the reason being is because I'm their only parent. I'm a widower. They're afraid for my safety. So now we've had to update and increase security and all the things I've never had to do before because of the vitriol and the anger that people have shown, the things that they've said in my thread and stuff. And all of this is because of a misunderstanding.
The beautiful thing about the internet is we can fact check everything that this guy is saying. Children, he doesn't have any children. Does he have kids? Did he have kids at one point in time? Yes, but his kids are 30 and 27 respectively. Those are not children. Those are adults. Second, people are making death threats, cussing you out. Well, it is the black church, so I tend to believe him on that one. People can cuss you out in the black church. If you ain't never been to a black church, it can happen. And it'll happen by the deacons. It'll happen by the ushers. It'll happen by the choir director. It'll happen for sure. So I kind of believe him on that. But death threats over what you said? Marvin, we're not this gullible anymore. Like, who do you think has been running the country for the past 4 years before we got Trump in there? We overlooked all that and still put him in the office. And so now we have common sense. And now we're looking at this situation like, okay, this is clearly some manipulation going on here. Clearly. Never would have made it without you. Neck ass. I would have lost it all. But now I see you are pulpit pimping, and I can say I'm stronger. Marvin, we're not falling for that anymore. And that's the way I see it. What do you guys think about this situation in Marvin Sapp? Do you guys believe him, or do you guys tend not to believe him? He used his kids as a shield. As I put a bow in it and wrap it up, he uses his kids as a shield in order to shield himself from criticism. He used his church as a shield in order to shield himself from criticism, knowing good and well that convention center tape, what was going on, the revival meeting, missionary group conference, or whatever the case may be, he knew that there was video. He knew he's a public figure. He knew that at some point in time this is going to get exposed. He knew that, and he still did it anyways. So now he needs to stand into the flames, in the fire, and take his licks like everybody else. You see Andrew Tate getting flamed left and right. He beats the court in Romania, and then now he has to go to UK and build and defend himself. This is what public figures, this is what you do, and this is what you get when you're a public figure. Some of the biggest YouTubers on YouTube are demonetized because of what they said. They're being held responsible for what they said. But no one can hold Marvin Sapp accountable for what he says and does. This is the reason why black men are leaving the church. This is the reason why men in general are leaving the church, because he can get by off of this shit with the women. But people who have common sense and think with logic are not falling for this bullshit anymore. Marvin, your time is done. Black church, your time is done. Fuck you and fuck all of them. I'm telling you right now, no man is coming back to the church. This is why 80% of the church is filled up with fucking women. And I'm sick and tired of these fucking grifter ass pastors going on Ricky Smiley's, Jamal Bryant, Bishop T.D. Jakes, Michael Todd, and whatever his church is, Transformation Church. Fuck all of you guys. You guys are not real pastors in the first place. And if anybody tries to come in the comment section and defend Marvin Sapp for literally demanding and trying to cheat people out of their hard-earned money, you got another thing coming to you. If Jesus, in the Bible, it literally tells that Jesus took down a church and the Pharisees because they were doing just exactly this. This is what God hates. But yet we're doing it in modern day. And we're still looking to have excuses for our actions. That's it, you guys. I don't want to blow a fucking gasket on you guys. Shout out to you. I love you. I appreciate you guys. Stick around and stay tuned for the new content that's going to be coming. I'll see you guys later. Peace.